But our next speaker did her doctoral research on our coaching model, and she'll fill you in on that eminently useful work that she did, helping us not only understand our unique model of facilitating people's development and their growth into what we call their next most radiant self, but also to help our clients understand what they're doing, as well as help us train our coaches in the future. Not only has her research been invaluable to us, but she's brought the elegance of her background as a writer and the discipline of her first master's degree as a movie producer and a storyteller. We are proud to introduce you to Dr. Karen Terry.
Members of the Wright Foundation Board, Dr. Bob Wright, Dr. Judith Wright, Chancellor Zwell, faculty and staff of the Wright Graduate University, thank you for this honor, and please know that each of you is very dear to me. Thanks, too, to all the friends and family in the room this morning. Graduates, we know you are getting fussed over, but we also know that you would not be here if they were not there. So I want you to stand up, I want you to turn around, and I want you to give a round of applause to your professors and your loved ones. Thank you. Please sit down. The poet Mary Oliver has said, "What do you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" Attending Wright Graduate University is like going on an incredible road trip with Bob and Judith to visit some of the best minds of the last, 2,000 years. I initially thought I was getting on the magic school bus for a drive-by. I did. I did. Instead, I went on a very profound journey. It changed me forever, and it was worth every minute. When I started at WGU 8 years ago, I was at a crossroads. I like to say that I started graduate school because I'd driven off the edge of my own life map, because it only went so far. And I thought I'd made a mistake then, driving off the edge of my life map. I now think it's our job to head for the boundaries. Wherever it lies inside you, look for the frontier. Go exploring often. Take your family and friends. Not that doing so is a day at the beach. I know of no wilder zone to explore than the human heart. And at WGU, we go spelunking deep. And then we haul what we find up into the light. The research I did for my doctoral dissertation was a study of how we haul things up into the light, particularly via coaching. We do coaching differently at Wright. What we practice, what I studied, is something called emergence coaching. And it's all about facilitating this emotional spelunking that I described. Here's how it's different. Most coaching, most places, is about moving people in the direction of their goals. I want a better job. I want more satisfying relationships. I want a sense of meaning or purpose. All good. Emergence coaching is also about going for what you want. But reaching goals is a side benefit of a much larger process. A process of becoming more aware, more intentional, and more authentic as human beings. And it's a process wherein I learn to trust myself and my yearnings as the guide to my life. It's a process wherein I learn to trust my life. So let me give you a metaphor. Imagine each person who comes into the world is like a grand piano equipped with 88 keys. You have black keys, you have ivory keys, you have high notes, you have low notes, you have more than 7 octaves of range. And initially as children, we feel free to play all over the keyboard. As kids, we just express. But gradually, we learn to limit what we say and what we think and what we do. We hear, stay off the black keys. Not so many low notes. Not so many high notes. And especially, stop playing so loud. And eventually we get stuck playing chopsticks every day because that's what we think the world wants from us. And we forget what we wanted from us. And we wake up every morning thinking, I hate chopsticks. So emergence coaching is about reawakening all that music and sound that you bottled up inside. It's about bringing back online the parts that went to sleep or never got developed in the first place. It's a complex process of two people reaching out to each other and trusting and attaching and expressing what you think you can't express. And it's about driving off the map of who you think you are to discover who you actually could be. This is not comfortable. I am here to tell you personally that even with the best of intentions, the biggest obstacle to my own emergence is me. Because every time I don't trust myself enough to say what's so, because I'm afraid of the dark music inside, or avoid working through a challenging relationship because I can't control how it's going to turn out, or manage people instead of meeting them because it's actually myself that I don't want to know that well. I choose something over emergence. I choose existing over living. Harvard psychologist Robert Keegan says, we aren't human beings, we are humans being. And when I emerge, I remember once more that I am a verb, not a noun. Because, did I mention this? It's not just the coaching client who emerges in emergence coaching, it's also the coach. And it turns out that creating a world that works for everyone is not a spectator sport. What I learned at Wright Graduate University, what I keep learning in my life, is that it's our job to keep becoming side by side with one another. To the extent that I deny or disown aspects of myself and keep them from emerging, I will deny or disown those aspects in the person that I coach. And I will refuse to accompany her as she heads for her emotional frontiers, for the hard scrabble places inside that went unloved and untended as she grew up. Emergence coaching is not about giving people answers or agendas. It is about risking enough to give someone the sense of being not only deeply known, but deeply accepted. And it comes out of a profound belief in human decency and human potential. With such caring and belief, we can travel off the edges of the map together and build more self, more of the best self for us both. Thank you.